go down there on the main element. But more often than not, I would just volunteer to go in the overwatch position.
Yeah.
They would put me on there. My leadership would put me up there too. So I got very familiar with the mountains of Afghanistan.
Yeah. Were you watching your guys get into engagements?
Yeah, but actually more often than not, we would get in the ticks.
Okay.
They would see us up there because this is where these dudes are hanging out.
Yeah.
They're not hanging out on the ground.
We talking night? We talking day?
We would go in
Daytime.
at night, insert at night, and then execute during the day, just at sunrise.
Okay, so the helos, when you guys would take off for an op, you weren't landing right in the village. You would land.
We would offset from the village, the main element, not far, maybe like a click.
Okay.
And then they would patrol in, and then right at first light, they would, break that last line of cover and start conducting clearance. And then they would insert us at some peak. We would do some false inserts and then insert us at a certain peak, and then we'd patrol up to the top of the mountain wherever we needed to go. But believe it or not, I've been in a lot of times where we ended up being very close to where the enemy's hanging out.
Yeah.
These guys aren't on the ground. They didn't, from my first deployment, my experience then, they didn't have the balls to go face to face on the ground with SEALs, with us at least. They would occasionally, but it would be more sporadic and they would be at a distance. It wouldn't be super effective. I got more effective fire when I was up in the supporting element than I ever did when I was on the ground.
No shit. That's interesting. Did you utilize your training as an 18 Delta on that deployment?
I did only medical treatment. I didn't. After that deployment, we didn't get no serious injuries. Yeah, I did minimal stuff for Partner Force. We ended up doing med caps every weekend for the villagers, so I would do a lot of treatment for that.
Okay.
But as far as combat care, no, because we didn't have any serious injuries post the helo crash.
Yeah. So let's wrap that deployment up. You're coming home as a new guy, or I guess you're not a new guy anymore, but I mean, shit, that's pretty fucking real right off the bat to cut your teeth into.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like for you going back to the team and seeing the next batch of new guys enter into your platoon, and you're going straight back to combat again for the next one?
Yeah, I was going right back into one troop again, staying there, and I knew damn near right away we knew we were going to go to Afghanistan because Iraq kind of stopped, and now they needed to. Actually, at the time, all the troops were going to Afghanistan this next go around. It was that much in demand, so all of them were going. So
everyone.
The South, even the three troop Southcom platoon, some of the guys were even getting filtered out and going too. So that's how much the demand was. So I knew it was going. Coming back home from deployment, was, I don't even know how to describe it, but I was relieved. I was kind of ready to come home at that point. Nervous too, because I've been gone kind of for so long, it seemed like.
Yeah.
Being my first deployment, so I really didn't know how to act or even behave once I got back. I wasn't married or had kids or anything, so I came back and it was just me. So I just pretty much just continued doing work again.
Yeah.
I did go home like a month later, took some leave, took like 2 weeks, came back here to California, hung out with the family.
Was it hard?
But
to interact?
A little bit, because I felt like they wanted to ask stuff. And they didn't know how to ask it, and they didn't ask it, and they really didn't know how to because I noticed this now more than in the past when I was a new guy. Like, as soon as you're around people that are very unfamiliar with military in general, let alone SEALs and deployment, they think the things that you've done may have messed you up or something, or they put this stigma on you. Maybe no fault of their own, because that's just kind of the mentality, but I felt that way, like, you all right? everything good? How was deployment? You doing good, etc. But over time, it was fine. Like I kind of just got back on the grind of being back in the team again, and it was it was actually a good feeling once I kind of platooned up again, and I was an older guy, if you want to say that. And then now I got to work with my new, mentor new guys, and watch them prove themselves to me and the rest of the fucking guys that been there and done that as well.
Did you find out you're going back to Afghanistan how fast after you got back from your first pump in Afghanistan? I
would say we found out officially probably halfway through, but at the beginning we always knew that we were going to go back.
So maybe a good 6 months where you were kind of like iffy, and then 6 months later, so you have
6 months later, it's like, hey, no, you're no shit going to Afghanistan. Now it's where are we going in Afghanistan is the thing.
Okay. So you did know that, you knew like right away.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, we knew, because like I said, everyone was going to go there, but it was more of the question of where exactly in Afghanistan are we going? Because the other troops ended up going like CAF, major bases.
Yeah.
So this was kind of, again, ends up with that competition. We need to be the best performing fucking platoon to get the best mission, because at the time VSO was coming about, Village Stability Ops, what we called it, and that was the mindset of we needed to win the hearts and minds, kind of win over the people, and that was the mission to be on, because that was you wanted to be sent in the most remote areas.
Yeah,
more chance to get.
You wanted to be.
We
out
wanted
there.
that.
Yeah,
more chance to get in firefights, get after it, less stress of the flagpole. We're on our own. We could do our own thing and be effective. We don't have our hands tied if we're like the units at CAF. When we're all like, that's like a major hub, which the other two troops ended up going. So we ended up getting the VSO mission at the end of the day, and the workup. We had a solid head shed, a lot of experience, dev group guys, and they really groomed the troop well. And we had strong chiefs, and all that leadership was really tight.
So your immediate reaction when you found out you're going right back to Afghanistan in a year and a half, depending on how long your workup is, did you want to go back? Were you excited to go back? Did that become home for you?
I was excited to go back.
You were?
Yeah. I was hungry to go back again. I was, especially after my first experience, I felt I was way more experienced and more prepared, and I knew what I was getting myself into, so I was ready to go back. And at that time, they're like, hey, guess what? You're also going to be staying 8 months, maybe you could be up to 10 months.
10 months?
Yeah, so it was like 8 to 10. Because before that, still Team 10 went out there, and they ended up staying there for 10 months.
Yeah.
Right before us. So that was a change as well, because with this new VSO mission, they required us to be on the ground longer.
Okay.
To build relationships. That was kind of the mindset, the strategy behind it. So we knew we were going to be there longer.
Okay.
So it was going to be rougher. And being that VSO mission, we knew we were going to be, this deployment was going to be rough. It was too. It was nothing like my first one.
The second one was worse.
Second one was, yeah.
Were you and Jeff together on?
This one we were together.
Okay. Did you guys know each other before then?
Yeah, we did a little bit. But we were in different troops.
Where do you fly into for your second deployment? Let's skip the workup and let's just go straight back over there. Where did you fly into this time?
Same place, CAF.
Right back to an outer base?
Right back to CAF. And then we had to fly to, I ended up going to the same area, southeast Afghanistan, again, Arghandab River Valley, where my first deployment was, but I was just a little further north of where my first FOB was, because that FOB ended up going away. So we established, SEAL Team 2 was here. They established this VSO site. When we got there, it was nothing. It was like 2 tents, Alaskan tents, a couple HESCOs. I mean, this thing wasn't even a base. It wasn't even fully, it had a little, I could throw a football to one end. It was less than 100 yards.
No shit.
Yeah, it was small.
So this base is less than a football field.
Yeah.
Like smaller than a football field.
Smaller than a football field.
With 2 tents.
Yeah, when we got there, it was 2 tents.
What
and
the
we
hell
they didn't
were you
have
guys
no
using?
no running water, no shitters. They were right next to a village, and then their partner force owned a compound that they took over right next to the team guys' little site. And these guys were rough. I mean, when we got there, we're like, holy shit. You know, like these guys were fucking roughing it. You know, this was like real deal. So that was unexpected. We had a little kind of, they told us a little bit, but we had no idea it was like that magnitude, that level. But yeah, these guys were roughing it. They didn't have anything because you couldn't drive there. No helos would hardly ever come because every time they would come into here, they would get shot at every single time. So, upper level was like, no, we can't bring any helos in there. So it was like very rare that they would even, for us even getting there was a pain.
Yeah.
Even to change out crews, it was a pain in the ass. But
just can you walk us through a little bit more about how many people were on this fob? Was it just your troop? Were you with locals?
No, it was just the platoon.
Okay, so there's like 16 guys.
Yeah, with enablers by pushing 20, a little over like 21, 22 with enablers, and then SEAL Team 2 was there, a platoon. They had minimal guys when we showed up because they already shipped some guys off, so I think they had like 12 guys. So it was tight. We were sleeping on top of each other. We ended up making another tent so we could all pack in. We're sleeping on cots, literally right next to each other, just racked up, jam as many as we can in there until we got more gear, more equipment, because we didn't even have any more tents. There was nowhere to sleep.
Shit.
We had to sleep on top of each other until SEAL Team 2 finally get out of there. But we did a couple turnover ops, which ended up going pretty smooth.
Mm-hmm.
So that went well, and then they ended up leaving. And then from there, the whole time was like literally build up shop. We needed to establish some sort of living, but the whole time I was there, we had no running water. We always slept on cots. We didn't have a kitchen. It was in like a dirt hut. They would drop us food via airdrop because no helos would come in, hardly ever.
Were you living with locals?
Yeah, we had locals, partner force living on our fob.
How many?
There was about 6 of them.
What was that relationship like? Did you guys have any confidence in them? A lot of units have different
I had confidence, so I ran actually these guys. The role I was in, I ended up being like their handler, paying them, make sure they had their gear. Those guys actually were good. They were our counter IED kind of partner force. They were solid. So we didn't really mind. They're trustworthy. We felt comfortable with them walking around on our fob, and they had weapons. The partner force, our real partner force, the ANASF guys are with us that lived in the compound probably like 50 yards away. We're decent at first, and like towards the middle of the point, we had some hiccups. We had to get rid of them because we lost confidence.
Oh.
Because they were, I think we ended up doing something that they didn't like, and then we had to call in counterintelligence guys to interview them, and there was some red flags with kind of attitudes towards us, maybe possible fucking signs of attack or aggression.
This happens a lot
Yeah.
with a lot of different units and a lot of different agencies. When you guys got rid of them, where did they go? Did you guys just cut them loose and send them back to their town? Because that can create an entire new enemy.
No.
Toward you.
The ANASF was kind of somewhat of established for us, somewhat. But we got them heat. They got out of there. So we didn't say, hey, walk away from the fob and just go find your own path. They got on a bird, and we shipped them out of there. Got a whole another unit.
Okay.
So it was fairly easy, but up to that point till they left, it was like we didn't trust them. Like, hey, you can't come over here you can't even approach our fob, our little VSO site with a gun.
Yeah.
Like, do not. You can come over here, no weapons though. We searched them. Just a lot of animosity was building up.
So you're dealing with that, and then you said it was hotter your second deployment.
Yeah.
So were you guys getting hit on the fob too?
Oh yeah.